Well, welcome to this episode of ISV Talks. I'm Carol Livingston from Dynamics Connections and your host of ISV Talks. On this episode, I have my friend and colleague, Bob McAdam. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Carol. Nice to see you again after last week in the Pacific Northwest, and it's always great to chime in with you here on ISV Talks.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah, you and I both attended the second annual BizApps Partner Summit hosted by Dynamics Communities. So I wanted to do a quick recap with you about kind of what our thoughts, observations. I know we had a few advanced networking moments where we
Of course.
did talk about it during the conference, but now that the conference has passed, let's get into that.
It would make sense to do a little background, I think.
Yeah.
There was a time, I'm old enough to remember, as are you, when Microsoft did the Inspire show every July to kick off their new fiscal year, and partners from all over the world would come to Seattle or Las Vegas or wherever they were going to hold it to kick
Yeah.
off a new sales year. And then, kind of like the old Convergence, a good event discontinued post COVID. And Convergence's case, it was pre COVID, but they just don't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
I
So our
don't.
friend John Seifert at Dynamic Communities fills the gap last summer in July 24 with this new thing called BizApps Partner Summit, where it's no end
Yep.
users, all partners and ISVs getting together near Redmond. So it's convenient for our friends from Microsoft. And I
Hmm.
think their goal last year was 300 people and they got 300. And I think you and I were much the same in that when we left that 25-hour immersion, as John calls it, we were like, that was pretty
Yeah.
good.
It was
There was a
good.
lot of good stuff. And
Yeah.
and he really kept our attention and had good speakers and good input and a great time to visit with ISVs and SIs in our space. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, since it was the first year, we didn't really know what to expect. And definitely. And this year they did take some feedback on the second year. One of the things I think they heard from like ISVs who attended, and there was quite a few in the audience last year,
Right.
is that they wanted some content for them, right? Because they're working in the channel and they're a Microsoft partner as well. So they did do kind of on day two a keynote for ISVs. So they had kind of the head person for the ISV community from Microsoft. They had a breakout session for the SIs or partners, and then a breakout session for the ISVs. Of course, we got shuttled off into a separate room that had, gosh, I
Otter.
felt like
Yeah.
they turned on the heaters, like we were in the sunroom or something. Anyway,
Second class
but
citizens compared to the resellers. I get
yeah,
it.
but yeah, that was standing room only. I mean, it was hard to get a seat in there, and that
Yeah.
lasted probably about 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Kind of, Bob. What are your thoughts about the overall theme this year? And the topic of AI, of course, continues to be the theme for Microsoft. But what do you think was different about their messaging this year?
Okay, without question, and we all knew before we showed up at the Hilton Bellevue that AI would be the talk of the town, just like
Right.
it is at every other Microsoft show, whether it's Summit or Dynamics Con or whatever.
Hmm.
But this time around, there was a massive sense of urgency that accompanied the AI messaging from Microsoft. They beat
Right.
the urgency drum over and over and over again. Essentially, if you're not on this path 5 minutes after you leave this conference, you're already behind, right?
Right.
If you're not
Yeah.
starting
I got.
yesterday, you there's a
Mhm.
problem. They talked about all these resellers adopting AI within their companies, becoming frontier firms, right? They use that
Mhm.
phrase frontier firms frequently in the 2 days.
Right.
And they said, if you can get this going starting yesterday in your firm, then
Yeah.
you'll help your customers leverage it faster and then they'll
Yeah.
grow faster and you'll see the results sooner than later. But yeah,
Hmm.
the urgency drum
Yeah.
was pounding in every single session. It
Yeah,
was
definitely. Like that frontier partner, another theme I heard was be the zero customer, right? Be first to use it in your
yes,
organization. It kind of makes sense because you don't want to talk to clients about something that you don't even use practically in your own business. So you have
yeah,
to adopt it internally, even in your own business as a partner, before you
yep,
go and take that to a client. I mean, there's just no credibility to say, hey, you should buy these Copilot licenses and
right,
but you don't use it, right? So, and the other thing too, Bob, is I heard it a couple times that when partners show up and they're in the boardroom with their customers and the executives, they want to know, like, how are you using it? They don't want to talk about concepts. They'd really want a menu to pick from, right? So some
Yes.
like, give me an idea, give me a list of things that you can offer me and how it can help my business.
Yep, you're exactly right. And the adoption of AI is obviously quick. I don't know if you remember this, but they had one slide where they said the personal computer took 12 years to essentially be
Mhm.
ubiquitous in our society, and the cell phone, 7 years to become ubiquitous, and cloud computing, which we talked about for a long time to get
Long
people over
time.
that hurdle, 5 years. And now they're saying AI will be 2 years to
Yeah.
become ubiquitous in our businesses and in our lives. And if you ask me, 1 year has already gone by. So while you and I
Yeah.
sit here talking about this short runway for AI, the
Yeah.
time is ticking quickly. And that slide was
Mhm.
really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, the velocity of it. And you think about Copilot was only released in 2023, and here we sit in 2025. And even
Mhm.
from last year to this year, in terms of the kind of the maturity or speed in
Right.
which how Microsoft's talking about it. In fact, one of the things, wasn't it that they kind of rebranded actually internally to refocus and kind of pivot to AI first. So the
Yes.
name of the groups now are start with AI, right? The next year they even rebranded the partner BizApps Partner Summit is no longer that. It's the AI Business Solutions Partner Executive Summit. Kind of a long name, but
Yes. Yeah, they talked a lot about changes to BizApps and modern work, and all these groups,
yeah.
or the newly formed AI Business Solutions Group has AI in the name, and it's going to incorporate AI business processes and AI workforce together. So
Hmm.
everything Microsoft,
Right.
not just the urgency and their messaging to partners, it's all labeled AI. And John Seifert, who's a smart guy, was smart enough to
Smart
rename
guy.
this conference to the AI Business Solutions
Hmm.
Partner Executive Summit. So yeah, it's having its effect all across our industry faster than we ever imagined. And like you and I were talking before we hit record, it is exhausting. It's coming quickly. It's like, man, if I was 35 again, I could
Yeah.
probably handle the speed at which
Yeah.
this is all coming. But it is exhausting having it come out so quickly from Microsoft,
Mhm.
along with the urgency to begin yesterday.
Yeah, there is that, but it's kind of like just another tool in the toolbox. And I did love that there was a session from one of the Microsoft speakers talking about they have a whole library of business processes and kind of back to the basics, right? Let's do basic business consulting. Look at their
Right.
business needs, let's map out the processes, and then let's see where the ERP can fill that need or AI could fill that gap or an ISV, right? So it's another
Yep.
tool in the toolbox. It's not separate, it's not like add on. I feel like from last year's conference to this year, it's sort of like, here's Copilot over here, you should be selling it. And this year it was
Yeah.
like, no, it really is part of the integrated system. And there's
Mhm.
really two components. There's the kind of AI that we probably use in our day-to-day life now. We're starting to use it in
Yep.
emails or creating posts on LinkedIn or creating content. So it's more of a prompt and you're asking human intervention, right? You're asking for
Yes.
it to respond. Now there's AI agents, right? There's this
Yeah.
whole agentic AI, is what they call it. So that era, it's really autonomous AI agents working in the background and doing emails and responding and looking at different data in the system to pull together information. So it's working regardless of the human intervention, right? Which is
Yeah.
kind of new and scary, I guess,
Yeah.
because you're not involved as a human. But it kind of can take care of a lot of those mundane tasks.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was sort of like, okay, so we're at this point of using AI. Now we're using it in agents, right? Those independently running agents.
Yep.
Now what?
Yeah. No.
How do we govern that? How do we set policies around that? And what can Microsoft do to kind of give us sort of the starting point, right? They said they have a whole library of predefined AI agents that you can start with.
Yep. I guess there's a payables agent in preview for Business Central, right?
Yeah,
And let's face it, some
right.
aspects of payables or wrecking
Mhm.
the bank or general ledger reconciliation. Those are mundane tasks that you and I have done a million times with pencil and paper and all that jazz. And it's boring. It's not exciting whatsoever. And if I could have an army of agents that specialized in those types of
Yeah.
tasks, I wouldn't be wasting my time on this stuff that I hate doing. I'd be
Yeah.
making sure it was all done, and then I could start making decisions based on the data because it's getting reconciled
Hmm.
and or finalized faster by an agent who's working diligently, doesn't call in sick, and all that sort of thing. So you're
Right.
right. It is coming on fast, and it's kind of scary, but it is also pretty neat that some of these accounting is accounting. It's not always the most exciting thing in the world,
Sure.
but firms that close their books each month or each quarter and can get results out better, learn faster, make better decisions, they're
Hmm.
going to benefit in the long run. And if these agents are working for them, then boy, it's going to pay off. You'll see the ROI quickly. No question.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And what do you think ISVs? I mean, they talk to ISVs about being influencing this whole generation of IA agents. Like, how can they help?
That's a good question. At Tasklet, we are working on internal AI. We're following the same structure, getting our internal operations working with AI so we can be a frontier firm sooner than later. And then once we're there, which will hopefully be soon, we'll start to insert AI around our warehouse management solution.
Mhm.
So yeah, if everyone internally, be it in northern Denmark or
Yeah,
West Central Florida, can master AI internally with things that we need to do our jobs
yeah,
better, that'll
yeah.
result in being able to roll it out on devices and then getting our customers really, really good with our offerings because the AI agents there are working
Hmm.
in their favor.
Kind of already automating things in the background. And one
Yeah.
thing I heard on the ISV side where Microsoft's looking to those partners to help with the more vertical or industry solutions, right? Like you guys
Mhm.
are in kind of the supply chain distribution area, right? So you can
Yeah.
actually be right there on the forefront of developing AI agents and AI to manage processes in the background
Yep.
that don't require human interaction. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really neat the potential for AI to work some really cool magic in our business and other related. There's an
yeah,
ISV for everything because there's so many business processes or things you could do better with Business
yeah.
Central or F&O. And to think that all these agents will be rolled out and making those
Hmm.
even more refined and more efficient is really, like you said, frightening and cool at the same time.
It is frightening. Like when they said that you had agents managing agents
I
and that
know.
they're part of your org chart, that kind of freaked me out, right?
Yeah,
Like, okay, you not
agreed.
only have humans on your org chart, but you also have agents on your org chart running processes. That kind of freaked me out because it's like,
Yeah. Another thing that freaked me out was the panel at the end of day one,
well,
Partner Summit, soon to be renamed AI Business Solutions Partner Summit. And the moderator said more than one time that if partner firms don't become frontier firms sooner than later, they won't be in business in 12 to say 18 months. And that was
like,
like, okay, if you're trying to
like
make a point
what?
and have a different way to do urgency, that's fine. But there's a lot of people in that room that we've known for 20, 25 years, maybe longer.
Right?
And I don't know, I have a hard time seeing them out of business given their longevity and expertise.
Yeah.
And that did catch me by surprise.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, what? What did he just say? He
I
says,
know.
yeah, if you're not using AI internally and using it in your business strategy, then you're going to be out of business in 12 to 18 months. And he said it more than once. So I
I
don't
know.
think he was like mistakenly saying something. He
No,
intentionally
no.
said that. So,
Yeah. And that
yeah,
panel, that last one on day one, had some of the largest firms in our
right?
industry. And there is no doubt in my mind that Microsoft has already been bending their ear saying, you folks need to drive AI in this channel and set the example for
Oh,
the smaller firms. I'm sure they've heard
yeah,
it already. I'm sure they've heard it already. They're expected to lead given
yeah,
their size and resources. So, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, even some of them
urgent.
said on the panel that like they're doing hackathons or they're doing training
Yeah.
internally or they're doing little kind of company meetings where they or team meetings where they're building an app together. So they're using
Mhm.
Copilot Studio themselves just to get familiar with it and use it and force themselves, right? Like they
Right.
wouldn't do it naturally, right? So they're making it an intentional part of the organization internally to learn it and that sense of urgency too. I definitely agree with that. Absolutely. Because it does feel like, and I said this on my recap on LinkedIn, but I do feel that way. I feel like kind of finally Microsoft sounds like they're leading in this
Yeah.
space because prior to this, I always feel like, well, they're always late to the party, right? They're not the first to the cloud with business apps.
Right.
In this case, it feels like they are trying to lead the charge, and it's a pretty strong they're fighting some strong headwinds, but you can tell they've pivoted their organization.
Mm.
Compensation sounds like it's going to be around more AI metrics as well. So it'll be interesting to see the changes a year from now, right?
Yep, exactly. One speaker last week said it best, I thought. AI is not going to take your job away. Someone doing your job with AI is going to take your job away. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe I'll share next year. They already changed
Yeah.
over the website and they have the new early bird special posted out here for the new AI Business Solution Partner Executive Summit. The website, if you Google or search on AI Business Partners Executive Summit, you're probably going to go to the BizApps Partner Summit, the previous website of the conference. But anyway, it's out there if you want to see the dates. The venue hasn't been completely firmed up yet, but you can start buying your tickets for next year. So,
Yep.
and I,
You can buy your ticket already. They're anticipating more growth. They're going to be at a different hotel, still in Bellevue, because that's convenient to Redmond. But yeah, now it's going to be 36-hour immersion instead of 24. And my guess is more than 500 partners easily will show up for third week in July show because John's got something good cooking here. And you and I have both been twice, and we both left saying, gee, that was time well spent. So if you haven't
yeah,
been yet, put it on your event list for 2026, and we'll see what Microsoft has to say 1 year after telling us we should start yesterday with AI.
right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see next year how much the channel's progressed in this
Yeah.
new priorities for this new fiscal year. And they did have a stellar year this last year, so even more money to invest in the channel, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Today, on the day we're recording this, Microsoft just announced earnings. They killed it for the most
Yep.
recent quarter. Their stock is way up. I mean, it's insane how good of a quarter they had in Q4
Yeah.
2025. I
So
mean,
they
it's
did thank the channel several times. So thank you, channel, for doing a great job.
that's right. Thank you, partners, for our
Thank you,
wonderful new stock
partners.
price today.
And
It's wonderful.
all right, well, we'll see
Yeah.
you guys on the next episode of ISV Talks. If you haven't thought about attending this conference, check out the
Think of
website,
it.
maybe put it on your calendar, plan to attend next year because it's definitely one of the most important events in the Microsoft channel for sure.
Yep. Amen. I'll be there, and I know you'll be there too. And
I'll
my
be
plane
there
ride's a
too.
lot longer than your train ride. So there.
Hey, the Amtrak train was great, so I'm gonna keep doing that. All
All right. Well, that's good. That's
right.
good. It's only like 6 hours from Tampa. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, versus my 3 hour train ride. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Bye bye, friends. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Carol.
Thank you.